Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to give you my 1-year review of the Springfield Armory Emissary 1911. I'm going to go over the specs real quick. This is a full-size 5-inch 1911 in 45. Comes with two 8-round magazines. Two-tone stainless and carbon steel, has an accessory rail. The 5-inch barrel is a bull barrel, has a full-length guide rod, 1 in 16 twist rate. Comes with a front night sight and a U-notch rear. Has these really nice G10 grips, standard. It has aggressive texturing on the rear and here on the grip. The trigger, however, is plastic, it's not metal. The slide serrations are quite unique. You see how deep and wide these are cut here. And you see here the serrations are actually on the top part of the slide. As you see, it's a little bit of a different cut or shape. So it's not really useful for racking the slide on the front. The finish here is this hot salt bluing. It's extremely smooth and slick, so these front serrations are only good for really doing press checks. You can see here it says 45 ACP on the top of the barrel. It also has the little bird's eye thing, so when it's loaded you can see the brass. It has these little lines that go across the top of the barrel. This is the same as in like one of the CZ75 series pistols. I have my CZ75 here to show you the same thing. I really like this feature. I don't know what those are called, but that's a feature that's on my 75 series pistol that is also on this Emissary 1911. What I like about the Emissary 1911 is it's a little bit different from all the rest of the Springfield Armory 1911s that I have, and I really do like this texturing here and in the back here. It's super aggressive, and I really can get a good grip. Now, with the 1911 and 45 and the Browning action, when it goes to reload the cartridge and it has that cocking action, I have small hands, so you see I do have an issue controlling recoil in larger calibers, but the 40-ounce weight actually helps me with that. But I like to actually put my thumb a little bit higher up on a slide on the 1911 45, and this is no different. So I actually appreciate the cut here that's like this, because I actually put my thumb up like this, and I don't put a whole lot of pressure, but it does help me to get a better grip on the pistol because I do have small hands. So with the controls on the 1911, it's hard for me to get to the slide lever release with my right thumb. I can get to it obviously with the left one, no problem. But when I want to load a new magazine and I want to use the slide release, or excuse me, the slide serrations to release the slide, these get the job done, but I kind of don't like how wide they are cut like this. I think that it's functional, but I think it's more for aesthetics because it matches this. And these you can't really use for racking the slide because this hot salt bluing finish is pretty slick. So I can kind of press check with it, but still the finish is pretty slick. Now it looks good. I really do like this hot salt bluing slide with the carbon steel and then the stainless steel, the two-tone with the colored G10 grips that you can see has a little bit of, looks like a worn look to it, which is just a little bit of color mixing in with the dark. So they do have the silver highlights a little bit in these G10 grips to kind of match the texture or tone of the color here of the stainless. The accessory rail I really like because this is a little bit different 1911. So this gives you a complete package that also has the front night sight here. So for $1,000 or more, because the MSRP on this is $1,378, it gets almost all the features. It's got the front night sight. I don't know how you feel about that U-notch rear sight. I particularly like it because it's the same as on the Hellcat Pro, and I shoot that well too. So I actually really like this sight combination. You may not like it, but I also like the color too. I don't like white or orange as much as I like yellow or green. So for me, this hits a lot of the features. I like the aggressive magazine release button also. The controls are pretty good. Some minor issues with the controls for me because I have small hands, but this aggressive grip texturing and these grips really combined with the sights, I can shoot this one pretty well. I kept the target from this one because I think that I actually shoot this the best out of the 1911s that I have, mainly because the sighting system. I don't think it has anything to do with the controls or the trigger or anything else other than that. I really do like this sight setup, and you can get this in 9mm also, in full-size 5-inch or Commander 4.25-inch. A few things I don't like about the Emissary 1911. I'm not a fan of the slide serrations. They're not as functional as they are aesthetic in my opinion. I can get by with them, but this isn't, I would say, a duty use 1911 because of it. I don't really think that they had duty use in mind when this is more of a eye catcher, and I kind of bought it because of that, because it looks different. I really do like this different grip texturing, but I think they kind of missed the mark with a few things. The plastic trigger, for example, if the gun is going to be $1,400 MSRP, that's something I don't think is really acceptable, a plastic trigger on a $1,400 1911. That just kind of doesn't fit, right? You go out of your way to have nice sights, nice grips, two-tone. It's got the accessory rail, it's got the bull barrel, it's got the full-length guide rod, and then you come with the plastic trigger. It just doesn't fit for the build. It just doesn't have a place in it, so it kind of stands out like a sore thumb. I do like pretty much everything else except for those two things. I wish that I could just change the slide cuts on this and go forward. This is just kind of a nitpicky thing, but everything else, it's really hard to complain about. It works really well. I shoot this better than any other 1911 that I have, I would say, except for the Operator 1911 because the sights are similar. So I think that this is a pretty good package for what I paid for it. I did pay under $1,000 for it, but the MSRP is close to $1,400. So it's not cheap by any means, but it has a good mix of features. It just has a few things that just don't fit in with the build. I think it was close to being something cool and different, but then they just kind of fumbled the ball at the goal line. Here's the target from my range session with the Emissary 1911. I was using factory brand new brass cased 230 grain ammo. I had the target at 40 feet. I can do typically similar to this. Usually I have most of the targets will look like this one, where I have hits around the outside with some stragglers like here. Today I did particularly well where I have multiple touching in the smaller part of the bullseye. Most of the time when I'm shooting at 40 feet or more, I can only typically get around the target. I never actually get in the middle of the target here. As you see here, I didn't get in the middle. Even here, I didn't get in the middle. Still here. But this one, I was able to get multiple hits and then connect them. Here I got close. Here I got close. Had a bunch of hits all touching. Only a few stragglers. So I would say that I shoot this one a little bit better than my other 1911s, mainly because the sights and the grip texturing. I like the sights and I like the grip texturing. These sights are on the same setup as my Hellcat Pro, and I shoot that better than other 9mm in the same size category. So I do have this continuing performance reinforcement with this sighting system that it works for me. I really like the U-notch rear. It helps me to line up the sight in the front. Whereas if I have the blacked out or if I have all night sights, I just can't get the same results. So I do like this 1911 a bit more than the others, mainly because of the sights and the grip texturing. Thanks for watching my 1-year review on the Springfield Armory Emissary 1911 full-size 5-inch in 45 ACP.